Hello and welcome to the Inspired Ideas podcast with your host, Diane Cunningham Ellis. This is the podcast to help you get real about living an inspired life and what it takes to become the best version of you. After creating an association, 10 self-published books, 5 magazines, a high-ticket mastermind, and 10 courses, I am fully ready to show you how to create, market, and deliver in your community courses and coaching programs. I am on a mission to show Christian women entrepreneurs how to start or scale their inspired business with less overthinking and much more fun. I am here to inspire you and guide you with weekly episodes on all things related to life, business, and the creative journey. Let's dive into this week's episode. Hey, so excited to be here with you today again for the Inspired Ideas podcast with Diane Cunningham Ellis. And today I'm going to be talking about the fact that I believe community is the key. Community is the core. Community is how we learn, grow, evolve, change. And it's really what I would call the foundation of most of my programs that I offer at this point. And I call it the foundation. So the foundation is the community, which is the core. And then outside of that, in an outer circle, would be the coaching that happens inside of the groups, the content that's delivered inside of those groups. And I also love to teach that in each of these ways, in each of these circles, the community, the content, and the coaching, you're going to want to create, market, and deliver. Not just want to, but you're going to be inspired to. You're going to be inspired to. So today's Inspired Idea is really about this community being the core and how it can help you transform and how it helps your clients transform, and maybe share a little bit about the ways I've used it all these years. Now, so many of you know my background with creating, founding, launching, doing all the things with the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs. Now, looking back, I just think, wow, I'm so proud of you, girl. I'm so proud of you, girl. And this was in 2010. So you do the math, it's a while back. As of this recording, I am recording this podcast here in the beginning of 2022. And so 12 years ago, I had the guts to do something wild, to build a community, to go out on a limb, to basically say, why not? And before that, I was asking how. Before that, I was asking, why me? Before that, I was saying, gosh, someone must be doing this. And I looked all around. I did my research. I looked all around and I saw some people doing it, but not doing it very well and not doing it the way I felt God was asking me to do it. And so I had to deal with myself. Get out of my own way. And, as it always happens in my world, God will show up and provide me with the exact book, training, coach, course, program to help me in community, hint, hint, learn how to do the thing I want to learn how to do next. And so hat tip to Cherie McConnell. I think she has a different name now, but I stumbled upon her. Well, actually, I heard about her from a coffee conversation with another friend when I was talking about this idea. I was talking about this idea of building a community for Christian women. Why? Because I had been a part of some and I was craving that conversation. I was craving conversation. I was craving connection. I was craving accountability. I was craving mentors and peers and training. I was craving that built-in, what I would call advisory council. And I don't really think I knew much about mastermind groups at the time, but I was craving that as well. And so this girlfriend of mine told me about this book called Smart Women Create Membership-Based Businesses, I believe is the title. And I'd have to dig on my shelf and find it, but it changed the course of my life. And I went as soon as I rallied up the money, because I didn't have the money. I want to tell the truth. I didn't have the money to invest in the training, the coaching, the program. And guess what? God, out of the blue, sent some money. Someone had submitted me for this award, for this scholarship, for some, helping and being a part of something in the community I was living in. And a check out of the blue that I was not expecting came in the mail. And that's how God works for me. I mean, I was doing all sorts of work. I was doing the work. And so half of this training component came in the mail unexpectedly. And it was like, okay, I will find the way. I will find the way. And so I got myself to this course and in person to learn how to create a network. And I did that very thing. And I did it fast. So I went to the training on April 20th that year, and I launched the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs. I think it was May 11th, if I'm remembering all the dates correctly. So very, very, very short time frame in between. Why? Because I was motivated. I had a big why. I wanted to find you. I wanted to find all of you, and many of you will be listening to this. Many of you have been members of NACWE. I have since sold NACWE. I sold the company in 2017, and it carries on. I love Karen, who now is the president, but I will always be the founder. And I was the founder of the community. It's a community. It's this core that includes content, and it includes coaching that is available to all the members. But it also just really, the bottom line is it's about that community. And so as I looked back recently on my journey, I began to see all of these dots connecting. That community is the key. Community is what I have when I attend my 12-step programs. And I attend quite a few, but the main one that you all know about is Alcoholics Anonymous. It's built one person at a time and groups all over the globe around the healing power of community, the healing power of seeing someone else say and hearing someone else speak the words that you have been afraid to say out loud. Healing power of community. And so underneath all that, we have all this fear, we have all this resistance of being in community, but we're desperately craving community. We're afraid we're going to meet somebody we know there. Oh my gosh, heaven forbid that somebody else has the same problem that you're struggling with. But that's how we find the support. And we find the support from grief or infidelity or alcoholism, or you find the support in how you're going to build a business. You're going to find those places in communities all over. Many of them that we're all a part of are on Facebook. They are on LinkedIn. They are in coffee gatherings. They are in communities. They are paid and they are free. They are paid and they are free. And I am engaged in so many of them, I can't even count. I'm engaged in high-level coaching programs, masterminds, and I also offer those things. I offer those main three things in my programs: community, content, and coaching. Guess what? Some people are never, ever, some of the women that have paid to be in all of my big programs, they have never logged in. I know, it just breaks my heart. I have all these trainings, programs, workshops, systems, templates, Google Docs, Canva thingamajigs, and they have never once logged in. Why? Because they really, truthfully, are just there for the networking, the relationships, the conversations that happen live once a week. They happen in person at my house. And these women keep coming back. They keep coming back as alumni. Why? Because they are not there. They're paying for the access. They're paying for the experience from the members in the group, and that includes me. They're paying for our capacity of holding that container for them, holding the space. So you're going to have programs where the main focus might be the content, but you want to really begin to deliver the community aspect. So my question for you, I guess, because I'm constantly going to ask you questions here on Inspired Ideas, is what is the community you're offering? How are you building those relationships inside of there? How are you building the blocks between them, connecting the people, offering buddy chats, helping them find each other. What content are you providing for them to go train on and come back to ask questions? And how are you delivering your coaching opportunity or counseling or support group? Remember, the three other words are the create, market, and deliver. And all of these are things I teach inside of my programs, of course. So let me just give a shout out. The Inspired Business Inner Circle is my core offer that includes the trainings on these pieces and every other thing I've ever created. And so what does that mean? It means that it gives me a beautiful playground where I can love on these women and give them all the things I've learned yesterday, the things I'm going to learn next week, the things I'm learning from recording this podcast. That's fun. That's super fun. And actually, a lot of them now are saying they want to record a podcast. So great. I'm a few steps ahead of them. So there we have it. That's all you need. You don't have to be the guru of all gurus. You will want to be a few steps ahead of that person that comes to you and says, hey, you're sober. You're a couple more months sober than me. How do I get sober? How do I stay sober? Or how do I change my eating plan? Or how do I get consistent? Whatever it is that your calling is, someone is going to come to you right after you've got a little farther down the path. I can't tell you how many times this has happened in my life. It's happened with things that have been horrible, tragedies, testimonies. People have come to me and said, oh my gosh, I know that you just walked through blank. I am walking through blank. The diagnosis, the announcement, the divorce, the whatever the thing is, there is someone that needs your experience, strength, and hope. Let me say that once more. There is someone that needs your experience, your strength, your hope, your training, your content, your coaching. And those are the formal words for it. But these are the things that happen in these groups that you don't have to pay for. So you're going to have communities that are paid, and you're going to have communities that are not paid. And it's really all about how are you going to show up? How are you going to show up? I had to take a sip of coffee. You know, I like words that start with C, including coffee. So how are you going to show up and build that community? Connect with the people that God has given you. Collaborate. How are you going to show up? Are you going to show up as the client that you would love to have? Or are you going to be a silent lurker, a stalker, a complainer? Which one will you be in the programs that you're a part of? I want you to rise up. I want you to be that person that you would love to have come say, hey, sign me up. I've been watching, here's the emails we love to get. I've been watching what you're doing. I want to learn how you're doing it. Let me come drop into the group. Let me get my ticket and come to the table. Why? Because they're ready. Those are the emails we love to get. The action takers, the movement makers, the purpose livers. Those are the emails I love to get. And if that's where you are listening to this podcast today, then get in touch with me ASAP. It will depend on when you hear this, which program is open and or if there's a waiting list going on right now. But the inner circle is the place to be. I also offer the private coaching. I offer lots of workshops and what I would call them, one-hit wonders. And they're amazing. They're filled with beautiful content, trainings that you need about all things marketing, about inspired living, about habit building, creating, all of these things. Why? Because you know what? As soon as I learn something, I'm going to run over and teach it. I can't control myself. I can't stop myself because I guess I'm just a built-in teacher. Everyone in my family is teachers. Most of them work in classrooms with young folk, but God gave me the gift of a master's in education and in guidance and counseling. And so I started out by working at a hospital in Spokane, Washington, and with my master's degree. Well, before that, let's peel back the onion a little farther. Before that, I was, I got my undergrad in communications. and psychology and English writing. And so during that time, I worked with domestic violence. I worked at the Domestic Violence Advocacy and Counseling Center, and I learned so much. And I worked there while I was getting my master's degree in the evenings. I learned there about the power of healing through community, through support groups. And then once I got my master's and graduated, I got a job at the hospital in Spokane, Washington. And I got hired to be a community, what was it? What was the title of that job I had? I mean, I had lots of different titles over the 5 years. I was an EAP counselor. I worked in the addictions program as a counselor. I got the chance to be a part of a behavioral health medical team and really learned so very much. And I learned about the power of community. I did. And then eventually from there on out, I had a private practice. I started a private practice. I got really kind of ahead of myself, which is a tendency for me because I'm an activator. Bonus points if you know your top 5 on the Strengths Finder, because knowing them will change your life. Knowing my top 5 strengths began to help me lean into them and not feel like I was just a freak of nature. So I'm an activator, a woo, positivity, individuality, and golly, I'll have to look the other one up. But knowing those, actually, they're on my website. I put them straight up on the About page. I suggest you do that too. Put them somewhere. If you know your strengths, if you know your Myers-Briggs, if you know any of these kind of quirky things about you, guess what? Your clients will love that about you. I get hired so much of the time by my high-level clients because of my activator, because I help those that are over there overthinking, researching. I mean, those are great gifts. And I have people on my team that have gifts that are completely different than me. Why? Because I need them. I need them desperately to balance me out with my activating woo. So community is the key, my friends. Community is the key. Built into that is accountability, if you so choose. Built into that is deep learning. And there's 3 different things that really will come about. There's the awareness that will come about from you being a part of a community. There's accountability. And the third is the action. Now, action will happen if I'm in these communities and I don't just sit on the sidelines throwing things at people. I'm going to be in the game. I'm going to be in the game. I'm going to be trying and exploring and learning and messing up just along with the rest of it. And to, again, go back to the 12-step example, I'm going to be working the steps. I don't just read the steps. I work the steps. I meet with a sponsor. I ask, I do the homework. And I do that same. Those are some of the same key components that I would say have really been beneficial to me in my coaching journey. I do the homework. I go to the group. I ask the questions. I try the thing. And then I see what happens after. And then I go back and get more help. And then I go back. And then I try once again. Guess what? The first time you ever do something is probably not going to be the best. Just saying. I'm looking across my wall here, and I have all these Post-it notes. I mean, if you've ever seen one of my videos, gosh, you know how it is. But I have over across the wall a couple little quotes that just hang there looking at me. Your work is a work of art. Yep, sure is. Your clients want the evolution of you. Oh, yes. Yes, you do. You want the me of 2022. I have learned a multitude of things, my friends, inspired ideas that I want to bring to you. And then down farther below on the wall, it says, what is work? In parentheses, what is work for you? What is work for you? Because work for me is filled with these communities of women that I love. So that's good. That's a good place to work. And then right below that, which is what I wanted to get to, is a giant Post-it note that's orange with my own handwriting. using a Sharpie, it says, what can I teach? I am a teacher. What can I teach? It only says it once. I'm just repeating it for effect. What can I teach? I am a teacher. So don't get all squirrely about your title. I've had some clients that have gotten squirrely about their title as a coach, or if they're trying to be a speaker. If I think of myself as a speaker, I get all worked up. Oh, I'm saying too many these and those and ums and ahs. But if I just go into the world thinking about what I can teach and what I've learned and what I would love to share with you today, then it relieves me from all of that pressure. So my question for you as we finish up for today, what can you teach? What communities are you building? And where can you get the support that you need to create the dreams that God has given you? How can you step up into your inspired ideas? Thanks so much for tuning in to Inspired Ideas with Diane Cunningham Ellis. My mission, as always, is to inspire you to dream big, catch on fire, and change the world. I hope I had a chance to do that today. If you want to talk to me more about any of the coaching goodies or gadgets, just go over to dianecunningham.com and you'll find me in lots of places over there. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.